Well, hello, my lovelies. It's Murky Meg here. It's Tuesday, the 6th of December, and my, what a dirty game we are playing at the moment. Second trailer of the now infamous Netflix reality TV show Harry and Meghan dropped yesterday, and yet again it is full of inaccuracies and misleading information. I'm going to talk you through, like I did the previous trailer, and then I'm going to discuss the media outpour that this has started yet again. Believe me, it's mind-blowing. Okay, so we open up with Harry driving around, and he says it's really hard to look back on it now and go, what on earth happened? Shows Meghan in a car looking very sad and frustrated. We're then shown a video of the engagement announcement where it says, you hear that? That's the sound of hearts breaking around the world. Problem is, it's an American accent, and this is taken from American TV, not British TV. So again, slightly skewed there. I suspect British TV wouldn't actually give them the copyright to anything because they're probably just as paid off as us. Then we see a picture of Harry and Meghan with, hilariously, they have used Piers Morgan's voice in saying she's becoming a rock star. He tweeted this, which in his ever so elegant style he only can. We're then shown this particular bit of video which shows them in their very early days of working members of the royal family, and it was at the Endeavour Awards on the 1st of February 2018, prior to them being married, I might add. We're then shown this one, but we've seen this one before in the previous trailer, but it's now in colour. Oh, aren't we lucky? We're then shown a video footage saying, Meghan, we love you! And it's from Prince Charles's 70th birthday party. It's a garden party. If you actually, this is where she had a bit of a telling off. I've put a link in the top right hand corner if you'd like to go and refresh your memory. But it's trying to prove that she was loved, she was happy, she was adored, which quite frankly, she was at the very start. Well, for some people anyway. Then crowds of people, Meghan, we love you, Meghan. We're then shown a little bit of a video which was the first official outing after announcing their engagement when they attended the Terence Higgins Trust World AIDS Day charity fair in Nottingham on December the 1st, 2017. Yep, showing that she's loved. Oh, and then Harry and Meghan sitting on what looks to be a couch, or a sofa as we call it. And then dramatic music. Then a video of them kissing on the steps of their wedding. Wasn't life great then? Obviously, sarcasm. Then Meghan clicks her fingers. Dramatic pause. Everything goes black. Everything changed. Do you know what changed? Your behaviour, your character. Anyway, I'll talk about that slightly later on. We're then helpfully told by Harry there's a hierarchy of the family. You don't say, Harry. Who'd have thought? Hierarchy within the royal family. And it shows Buckingham Palace on the balcony, and they're obviously trying to clearly indicate that they've been pushed to the very back. What they don't mention is that they are closer to the Queen than William and Kate are. Then it says, but you know, there's leaking, but there's also planting of the stories. That is Harry squarely aiming at his family there. He's suggesting that his family, or the institution that his family are part of, are leaking stories to the media. That is a very damaging allegation. By using paparazzi shots, and this shot, which is a very interesting shot indeed, this was from South Africa. Now, look at this tweet. This is Robert Jobson. Now, he's a journalist and royal editor for the Evening Standard and royal contributor of GMA and ABC. And he says, this photograph used by Netflix and Harry and Meghan to suggest intrusion by the press is a complete travesty. Taken from an accredited pool at Archbishop Tutu's residence in Cape Town. Only 3 people were in that accredited position. H&M, Harry and Meghan, agreed the position. I was there. To me, they're trying to imply that somebody was spying on them. They're talking about press intrusion. They're talking about paparazzi. Everything is being flashed in front of your eyes about them being papped. They are trying to say that they're being spied on when nothing could be further from the truth. They knew that 3 accredited journalists and photographers were there, and they agreed on that. We then showed video footage of people collecting papers. And then a voiceover from Jenny Afia, who is the couple's solicitor incidentally, says there's a war against Meghan to suit other people's agendas. Oh look, we have a colour version, but not crying this time, but head in, kind of hand in head, whatever it is, showing that, I can't even work out whether she's laughing or crying in this one, but she's looking at the camera, which shows that she had official Netflix camera crew in their residence, in their home, capturing at all times all the drama. Ah yeah, there's Jenny Effia speaking about other people's agendas. We then see Harry and Meghan, obviously in their home again, being filmed, I might add. It's about hatred, it's about race, but this time it's a voice we don't recognise. Because it's Christopher Boozy! Yes, that's right. He's in the reality TV show speaking about hatred and about race. Well, word on the street has it that Nate the lawyer has been taking so many calls about this yesterday because everybody wants to get the lowdown on Boozy and what gives him the right to actually talk about hatred and about race. And believe me, the journalists are very, very interested in his background. I popped a link to his video should you wish to see it. Then we have Harry again saying, "It's a dirty game." Yes, Harry, it is, and you're the biggest player. We then come to the portion of the trailer which I think has really angered a lot of people. He says the pain and suffering of women marrying into this institution is a feeding frenzy. Now, bear in mind, he's just shown Diana, and also he's showing Kate here being hounded by the paparazzi. Neither of those women are Meghan. There is no evidence that she was hounded by the paparazzi. Why have they used footage from Diana and Catherine, but not Meghan? The reason being, and I'll talk about this later on, she didn't get hounded in the UK. Then up pops this, shows Princess Diana and Fergie, the secret sadness of Princess Di's private battle. Then we see Camilla, Kate and Sophie, princess in crisis. They are implying that women within the royal family are hounded. I am so livid about this, that they are using other people's experiences to make money and try and put Meghan on the pedestal that is Princess Diana, Camilla and Catherine. Then Harry says, "I realise they're never going to protect you." While in the UK, Meghan was protected at all times by the RPOs, which are the Royal Protection Officers, which are Met Police. She was never under direct threat. She was always protected. She always had security. And this has made my blood boil. This also shows a video of them in a car, seemingly fleeing paparazzi. But what they don't tell you is this was in America, not the UK. They look behind them and see a car that's following them. I'm sorry, they're trying to draw parallels with what Princess Diana and Kate went through at the beginning of her relationship with William. You cannot draw comparisons at all. What they're trying to do is suggest that Meghan was hounded by the paparazzi. More paparazzi pictures have come out while they were in America than whenever they were in the UK. At all. And I'd also like to point out the inclusion of the footage of Kate in 2017 being hounded by the press appears to completely contradict what Meghan's saying that she was treated differently from her sister-in-law. They used this video footage. This isn't even about Harry and Meghan. This was a scrum of photographers forming around the car of Trump's former personal attorney, Mr. Cohen, leaving his New York apartment in 2019 to serve time in prison for financial crimes. It is misinformation at its finest. Again, we're shown Meghan wiping away the tears. Then Harry says, "I was terrified. I didn't want history to repeat itself." It was never going to repeat itself because she wasn't hounded like Diana. If there was footage of her being hounded, why have they not used it in the trailer? But the next section of video is even worse. It shows, again, paparazzi fighting to get a picture. But it's not fighting to get a picture of Meghan. It's fighting to get a picture of Katie Price when she was in magistrate's court. If you don't know who Katie Price is, she's an infamous D-list celebrity in the UK. Jordan, I think all of you know who Katie Price is. If you don't, Google her. But this again shows their lack of due diligence and complete disregard of using correct footage. This is Katie Price. This has nothing to do with Meghan. We're then shown Harry driving around, as you do. We're then shown footage of Diana going through an airport trying to shield herself with a tennis racket. Clever use of Diana again, trying to crowbar in that Meghan is just the saint like Diana was. Cough, cough. and that she herself was hounded too, just like her late mother-in-law. We're then shown footage from inside a car showing photographers trying to take a photo. Again, this looks like it's in the US and not in the UK because it's the same sort of footage as we've seen previously in the trailer. And yet again, they roll out the paparazzi shot, that footage taken outside Kate's Chelsea flat on her 25th birthday. So they're trying to imply that Meghan received this type of treatment. The fact that they've used 2 clips of Kate being hounded by the paparazzi, I think, is despicable. The trailer ends with Harry and Meghan walking off at Windsor Castle when they presented their son to the world so kindly. The trailer ends with Harry's voice saying, "No one knows the full truth." And then a video comes up with him saying, "We know the full truth." Needless to say, this has gone down like a lead balloon. The media have jumped all on it, and every inaccuracy is being spewed across the headlines. In the UK, at least, I'm not quite sure about worldwide. I'd like to point to this particular tweet by Dan Wootton. "If only Harry and Meghan knew the number of hours Buckingham Palace staff spent keeping damaging stories about them out of the papers. For months they succeeded. That only changed when late Queen herself warned Harry about Meghan's treatment of staff, and I broke the story in The Sun." He continues, "It's so shocking to me that Harry and Meghan were prepared to release this Netflix attack on the royal family, even if the Queen was still alive, knowing she was battling a terminal illness. Says a lot about them." You've got to ask the question how they can compartmentalise the fact that they think that she went from rock star to being a villain and that it was all about race. But if that were true, then how could she ever have been a rock star? She got very favourable coverage from the media from the start, and it was only her behaviour and the fact that the news were hearing stories about her behaviour behind palace walls, the treatment of her staff, things that are surrounded, and that started to come out. Harry and Meghan didn't like the backlash when they took so many private jets, yet they lectured us about climate change. They didn't like the pushback, so they have gone with the narrative of race. Plus, also the suggestion that Palace themselves are leaking stories to the papers. Every single journalist that has been on the news since this dropped has said that is a complete lie. They know of no leaked stories, and they should know. They're journalists. Even pro-Meghan Markle UK journalists such as Kate Nichol, who writes for Vanity Fair, is coming out and going, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. This is terrible. She wasn't treated this way at the start, and it was her behaviour that turned the UK against them. They were getting money from the taxpayer under the sovereign grant, and as such, they were held accountable for their actions and behaviours. And that is something they did not like. One thing you will learn about a narcissist is that they have narcissistic rage. If you cross a narcissist or call out a narcissist, then they will go full pelt on you, and it will be all guns blazing. They do not like being called out on their hypocritical actions. Rumble Online tweeted, "It's strange how Harry accuses the royals of leaking information to the press, yet the only concrete evidence with proof of a member of the royal family doing such a thing is himself texting Jason Naff to leak info for the book Finding Freedom." And that's a very valid point. They gave Jason Naff bullet points of what to discuss with Omid Scooby. And remember, she was called out in a court for misleading information, and she had to apologise for that because she forgot. The fact that they're trying to messiah her the same as Diana is utterly laughable. But in fact, the royal family have cleared up Harry's mess. Just look at Vegas as an example. Do you remember the naked pictures of him in Vegas all over the place? That was completely cleared up. An NDA signed. They rushed to clear that mess up. How quickly they forget. So that's my analysis of the second trailer for the Harry and Meghan reality TV show. I would love to know your thoughts on all of this and all of the media frenzy. What's it like in the country that you're watching from? Has it got any attention? What are the media reporting? Is it positive? Is it negative? I'd love to know your thoughts. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell and also that like button. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my followers for all the tips and all the emails, DMs that everybody sends to me. It really is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for watching once again.